All right, we are live.
We're live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to my friends here on Zoom. Welcome to my friends on YouTube and Facebook and other places. If you're on Facebook or anywhere near it, even my friends here in Zoom, if you can go ahead and share this, that's how we get the most people at it. And let me play some songs for you, and then we'll just see what happens. Rascal is a dog, he ain't too bright. Me and Rascal were sitting on the couch last night when my woman come in and started to cry. She looked at us with such terror in her eyes. She said, I have raised these children for 18 years. Now they're growing up and they're moving out of here, and my big reward for all that I've been through is this dog as dumb as mud. And you, yippee-yahoo. Rascal looked at me in disbelief. He said, she can't be talking about you and me. She's got us to spend the rest of her whole life with. Would you please tell her how incredibly lucky she is? And I said, who is gonna love you any better than this? We'll wake you up every morning with a big wet kisses when we hear the police sirens in your neighborhood. We throw our heads up in the air and we howl for you. Ow! And that's cool. You gotta admit that's pretty cool. You know, I don't believe we had succeeded in convincing her of the outrageous good fortune that had just befallen her. In fact, instead of looking happy as she could be, she looked a little bit, well, you know, suicidal to me. But hey, kids go to college, kids move away, but dogs and husbands, that's who stays. To you it seems like a big trick of fate, but me and Rascal don't see it that way. We're thinking, ain't we cuddly, ain't we cute? We're both real funny, both real true. There's another thing about us that's very cool. If you scratch us on our belly, our left leg moves. And you gotta admit that's cool. Ow. Well, okay, so maybe we ain't that smart. We're a couple of mutts with a lot of heart, but no one could ever love you better or give you more loyalty than this dog. As dumb as mud. This dog is dumb as mud. This dog is dumb as mud. And me, how lucky can one girl be? She's got a dog like you and a man like me. We'll be together well into this next century. Put that knife down, baby. There we go. Oh, that's right. We're having more fun on Zoom than other people. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. Those of you that are watching on other platforms, Facebook or YouTube, you can maintain your anonymity there if you care to. But if you want to join us, it's sort of quasi-interactive here. We let people unmute and then sort of monitor them so that we can hear them laughing and applauding and stuff here. And you're welcome to come over, or you can stay over there in the witness protection section of the thing. An old wife and husband, they had a shiny little kid. When that kid turned 16, you won't believe what he did. Smoked a lot of marijuana, he snorted cocaine too. Told parents he was gonna drop out of school. The father pounded on the table, the mother hollered and she screamed. They run him down to the doctor. Doctor, what does this mean? He put them all on Prozac, right then and right there. He said, you'll still have your problems, but now you just won't care. And he prescribed a little therapy, some supplementary drugs, but he didn't write a script out for a little more love, just a little more lifetime from the end when you are done. You know it might look a little better to see a little more love. I know a wife and a husband, and they had a shiny little kid. When that kid turned 16, you won't believe what she did. She said, "Mom, I'm sleeping over Susan." That was just a big lie, 'cause what she really was doing was staying out all night. When her parents found out, they cried boo-hoo-hoo. And then they called the radio talk show. They asked him, "What should we do?" He said, "Send her off to boot camp." That was his advice. It was good for his ratings, but it wasn't very nice. Just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing. At least it won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, you know it might look a little better. See a little more love. I can see that you're a tough guy. You won't be pushed around. You are not even gonna take it. You're good at putting your foot down. You might get killed by lightning. You might get hit by a truck. But if you are not that lucky, you might just wind up spending years in a rest home without a whole lot to do. But look back on what you did with the time God gave you. Just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing. At least it won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, might look a little better, big, rough, tough, gotta see a little more love. Might look a little better. See a little more love.
Yo,
That sounds like the howling of Neil Braverman. Is he here? Let me look at this.
I don't know. Where is he? Could be.
There he is. Neil Braverman is in the house. Hello, Neil.
Hello, my friend. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too, buddy. I got to hang out with Neil recently after a show in Acton. It was great. And he drove all the way home with his GPS, and I had to call to make sure he was all right. It's a long way from home for Neil. But you did okay, buddy. Welcome. Good to see everybody here. I went to California when I was young. I stood beside the highway, waved my thumb. Met a lot of maniacs, met a lot of bums. They were all really kind to me. Life is not like TV. People in Michigan say hello to people on the street that they don't even know. Drivers in Boston make a left-hand turn without turning their signal on. 1993, if you were talking to yourself walking down the street, it was sad because it meant that you were crazy. Now it means that you're a businessman. It's not crazy, but still kind of sad. I went to California when I was young. I stood beside the highway, waved my thumb. Met a lot of maniacs, met a lot of bums. They were all really kind to me. Life is not like TV. You know my boss is younger than my children are. I've got to tell you people, that is so bizarre. He's so adorable when he yells at me. It makes me want to pinch him on his cheek and say coochie coochie coo coochie. I went to California when I was young. I stood beside the highway and waved my thumb. Met a lot of maniacs, met a lot of bums. They were all really kind to me. Life is not like TV. People in Michigan say hello to people on the street that they don't even know. And drivers in Boston make a left-hand turn without turning their signal on. They're not thinking about you at all. They just keep on rolling, they keep on rolling, they keep on rolling along.
Yeah. Oh, good.
All right, so I was thinking that a lot of the folks that come to this came to these shows that I did. I did them every Thursday, all the way through COVID. I don't know, close to 100 of them, and it's what paid my bills for that whole time. So I just thought, I know that I know some of you now a little bit and what songs you like. So I practiced this one up for Sarah today. It's not one that I play much, but she sort of convinced me to bring it out once in a while. It's called the MTV Love Song. It's a song I wrote back when I was fearless. I'm not fearless anymore, but the idea of the song is that I just wanted to be able to go to as many emotional places as possible in one song. So if this song, if I get it right, is it's playful. It's goes to a really hard place, and then it becomes sort of sweet too. And that I just wanted to make a song that was absolutely unmarketable, and I think I've accomplished that. So Sarah, I love you.
Well, you at least have a market of one.
Take that too.
I purchased it.
If Sarah likes it, then you know I love it.
So let's talk for a minute. Has anybody heard Bonnie Raitt's song, the one that won the Grammy? Just raise your hand if you've heard it. It is, in my opinion, the most amazing song. It's if you haven't heard it, it's called Just Like That. I think that's the name of it, something like that. But it's about it's a folk song, like a story song. She's looking out her window. She sees this guy walking around. He looks lost. He knocks on her door. He's trying to find this woman, and it turns out he's trying to find the woman whose son died, and he is the owner of the heart. And he meets the mother of the kid. It is, I'm telling you, such an incredible song. It's got a line in it that's got to be like, it's a once in a lifetime, as a songwriter, once in a lifetime line. And the line is, I laid my head against his chest and I was with my son again. How about that? Like, man, it is like it. You can see why she beat everybody else out, and it's just a simple song, finger picking, stripped down. It's nice for that to be recognized. So I recommend go listen to it. There's a reason why it won. So this one is nowhere near as good as that, but we'll throw it in there. I am 64, she's 63. Our grandkids were over watching MTV. There were women gyrating all over the screen with some amazing dance moves, if you know what I mean. There was a young man singing a song about love, while these women dancing around him all shaking their stuff. I said, you don't think that I can handle those young wild girls? She said, there ain't enough Viagra in the whole wide world. And then she laughed that laugh that I love so well. It filled the room, it cast a spell. And while they sang about love on MTV, I sat and thought about what love means to me. Let's say you get married, you have a little boy. For 3 sweet years he brings you love and joy. But before he turns 4, that kid gets sick. Jesus comes to take him, takes him real quick. And when they lower him into that cold dark hole, they bury your heart, they bury your soul. And after that you walk around like you were still alive, but your heart is underground by that little kid's side. So how could you have known that your heart still lived inside the love of the mother of that little little kid, and that when the time was perfect, she would plant the seed in the hole where your old heart used to be. With the right amount of water, the right amount of sun, she'd bring you back among the living and back among the loved. Do you really think a love that is just about sex could ever grow you back a heart that was ripped from your chest? All these stupid young punks in the videos singing songs about love. What the hell do they know? Well, don't get me wrong, I love to see women gyrating on my TV. It is exciting, it's erotic, it's amusing, it is fun. It is a whole lot of things, but it's sure not love. This love I have known, it cannot be explained. It is the kind that finds heaven through the terror and the pain. It is a glance, a whisper, a prayer. It's a smile. It's even some gentle gyrations, you know, every once in a while.
Woo! Thank you, Dawn. Thank you.
Right, Dawn. All right.
Wild.
I agree with Sarah.
Well, you
Great
better agree
song.
with Sarah. Sarah is the cornerstone of this thing. She's the boss. So I see
I
my friend.
dare you to disagree.
Thank you for requesting that song.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So my friend Dee Dee Bergeron is here. Dee Dee, I just want to say hi to you for a minute. Hi, thank you. It's a friend of mine, goes way back to, used to run a coffee house in Natick before the TCAN, before all that. And she's a teacher and a union activist and just a really good, solid person. And she's going to be part of our group that goes to Fenway Park the several games a year. So welcome aboard for that, Dee Dee. So if anybody wants to hear anything, put it in the chats. Those of you on other platforms, in your chats, there's the information you need to come over here to hang out with us on Zoom if you want to, but you can remain anonymous over there as well. All right, so one of the things when we started doing this, which was at the beginning of COVID, was that I really didn't like performing and not hearing anybody, especially when I'm telling stories or reading from my books or anything like that. So between Brandon and I, we figured out how to make it so I could at least hear people laughing. It would make me crazy to be the only person laughing. It made me feel like I needed some help. You know, I need to go see somebody about my issues. I'm standing in front of the screen laughing to myself. So yeah. I'm going to read a little something from my book, and if you're in a quiet place, if you want to unmute, and if I say something funny, then maybe you'll laugh, and I'll feel like I'm not in this room by myself, having a mental health crisis.
Ha 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 ha.
There you go. So far, so good. So this is my book. It's called Memoirs of a Sea. No, that's the other one. This is called Hitchhiking Years. I have another book here called Memoirs of a Sea Student. That's quite a bit older book. This book is 15 years old now. And this is a COVID book here. I wrote it during COVID. That's my wife and I hitchhiking around the country for 3 years. That's a photograph of us in Texas in 1975. But there's 4 other stories in here. I'm going to read something from the second story, which is about me and my dad. So I wrote quite a bit about my life with my dad. I wanted to be honest, and I wanted to be kind. So when you go to write, when you write about somebody and everybody knows who it is, those people don't get to write another book to rebut your view of it. So you do have to be kind and honest. So we had an interesting relationship, and this is a little section of a piece called Behind the Wall, which is about my dad and me. And this is in 2 parts. It's called, first part is called Breaking Up with My Muse. And when I say muse, I'm not talking about like a human who's your muse, like this woman is my muse. I'm talking about the muse that won't let you sleep at night because you got to write a song and all that stuff. That guy, all right? I think we need to see other people. Don't look at me like that. You know this has been coming for a long time. I always thought this was a partnership, but it has never been that. It has always been about you. What you want, what you need, and what I can do to turn your wants and needs into something real. How many countless, irretrievable hours, days, and weeks have I spent? So Brandon, help me out there. Thank you. How many countless, irretrievable hours, days, and weeks have I spent sequestered in a tiny room, torturing myself over what exact words to use on some poem, song, or story idea that you swore to me was brilliant, only to find out later that it was stupid and not worth 1 minute of time? And where did the time I used to polish these turds come from? Oh, I don't know, maybe from learning a trade. You know, without a lifetime of constant distraction, I could have been a plumber. I could have been... I could have made $50 an hour and been nearing retirement and with a full pension. And let's not forget the alienation. You made me skip school at 15 years old and sit in Lynn Woods reading Siddhartha. You knew I had to live in. You knew I had to live in this town with the sons and daughters of football-loving proletarians for whom the suspicion that I might possess even a modest vocabulary was all the justification needed to kick my artsy ass. Remember that job I had paving driveways that summer in Maine with that crew of the newly unincarcerated? How long did it take them to figure out that I was a weirdo who wrote poetry? Hey, Shakespeare, see that girl walking by? Why don't you write us a sonnet about how beautiful her butt is? I have suffered merciless harassment and alienation and have been surrounded and tortured by disproportionately empowered illiterates all my life, and I'm sick of it. I'm breaking up with you. Never call me again. That's part 1, ladies and gentlemen. Part 2 is entitled Apologizing to My Muse.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I really didn't mean any of those things I said. I wish I had been on Ambien. At least then I could say it was a bad reaction. But it appears that I do not need the support of pharmaceuticals to behave ungraciously, so I have no choice but to own it. I'll understand if you never speak to me again, but just hear me out. The alienation that you filled my formative years with forced me to become an astute observer. Initially, it was a survival skill that allowed me to predict and elude confrontations that might be coming my way. But later, that attentiveness helped me to become a writer who could occasionally create work that resonated. I suppose I could go on about our creative accomplishments and the fulfilling and interesting life we have created, but all I've been able to think about today is the word home. When I was a boy and my dad was whiskey drunk, I would be awakened from the sweet dreams of youth by angry voices, and there, in the vulnerable half-conscious twilight between dream and day, as I was free-falling toward the awakened world, and before I could don the armor my mind had created to shield my unhardened heart, I knew the terror of a rabbit being carried to the fox den. At the moment before transitioning to the physical world, I would feel that you, my inner voice, my trusted consigliere, my hiding place, my brilliant and tenacious enemy of conventional wisdom, were there beside me, and through the comfort of knowing that you had watched over me as I slept, I could hear your voice whisper into my undefended dusk one single word: home. On the walk to school those mornings, we would write songs and stories, and I belonged. Not at the school I attended, not at our church, not with the children I played with, but with you. Because of you, home has been with me for every mile of my life's journey. Thank you for the survival skills. Thank you for the unique way of seeing the world. Thank you for the ability to describe my world in a way that resonates. And thank you for a home that knows no walls and from which I hopefully will never be evicted.
Woo!
All right, Don.
Oh, very nice, Don.
Yeah.
Yahoo!
All
That's
right. Well, thank you. I think when you're a person who skips school to read literature in a town like Lynn, there's not a ton of people for you to hang around with. I had to learn. I taught my kids a bunch of things like that I learned the hard way back then. Just because you love language and have a vocabulary doesn't mean that you should use it all the time. You know,
Right.
actually, it's disrespectful to speak above people. It's not their job to acquire a vocabulary to learn how to talk to you. It's your job to figure out what language, what level of language they speak in to show them respect. And these are all things that I learned because I was I was reading and loving language and literature, but it was a liability for me. People would make fun of me and knock me around if I start talking about poetry or anything like that. I was the only boy in poetry class in the 10th grade. It was all girls.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like I did it in the morning. It was the first class in the 10th grade. It was class number 1, and so I took it because I wanted to do it, and I could put off getting stoned till after first period.
That's before it was legal, right, Don?
It was legal in my house.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Thank you for sharing that.
oh, you're welcome. And so that's these books that if you don't have one, you can buy one. I just ordered the second copies of this, like the second printing. There might be 75 of these left, and this is the first edition. And I made about 30 changes in the new one. A lot of it was I had quoted song lyrics and other writers, and I decided to not do, to get rid of that. I paraphrased all those, but also I softened some language and stuff like that. So if you want a copy that still has the good stuff in it, you might want to order one now.
That's the one.
So, those of you that know anything about Lynn, Massachusetts, where I'm from, the bleachers in Barry Park have been torn down. The bleachers were made during the WPA. There was cement, and they went the whole length of the park, like as far, and they would just like, if you fell down them, you didn't live. You were dead before you got to the bottom. You had hit your head on so much cement, before you got there. But it was a place where many crimes were committed and much juvenile delinquency. And now they're gone now. And so I'm from Lynn, and so you can mention the bleachers the way that they were. Sarah's from Lynn. I was born in the city of Lynn, home of the first turbine engine. And as if that wasn't enough, it's also the home of marshmallow fluff. You can travel the whole country, you'll never find a bigger fluff factory. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn act this way. I don't talk slick like I'm from the Hant. I'm the son of a 30-year GE man. Don't be staring at me that way. I am from Lynn, what can I say? I used to hang around in Barry Park. That's illegal after it gets dark. I would stand on the bleachers where things got smoked. Beer got chug-a-lug, bottles got broke. Later in the evening when the police come, 27 juvenile are on the run. Juvenile are running everywhere you see, jumping over fences, climbing in trees. But Don White is too loaded to get away. His name was in the paper on the next day. His mother and his father just can't believe he would publicly humiliate the family. Say, Mom from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn act this way, I don't talk slick. That's what I said. I'm not from Swamps, get on Marblehead, and don't be staring at me that way. I am from Lynn, what can I say? On the corner of every street, somebody's cooking something greasy to eat. Deep fat is frying everywhere you look. The town is bound for the record books, a million sub shops. Open all night long, a socio-intestinal phenomenon. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn eat this way, there's no room in my stomach for French cuisine. Give me a bag of cheese curled in a submarine. Julia Child, get out of my way. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? I want a steak bomb. Extra cholesterol, please. I left Lynn many years ago. I didn't know where I was gonna go. 10 of my friends were leaning against the bar and grill. 10 years later, they're leaning there still. Half of my friends who are not on the street are dead, in jail, or annoying me. And I'm from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn act this way, I don't talk slick, that's what I said. And they won't even let me into Marblehead. Don't be staring at me that way. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? Say goodbye to the bleachers, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, Don.
The bleachers are gone now.
There's the fluff. Look at it. Thank you.
Can you get fluff in the Upper Peninsula?
Yes, you can.
Get it here.
It's part of almost every get together.
Well, it is made in Lynn, Massachusetts, at a place called Durkee Mower. And my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, he worked there back in the day.
Good stuff.
It is not good stuff. It's good. I'll tell you what it's good for.
That's good stuff.
You like arteries? No, I don't think.
If you have, like, you know, in your bathroom, how sometimes in between the tiles it starts to crack.
Little fluff will do
Use
it.
marshmallow fluff to seal that up for yourself if you want. Or if you have diabetes and you can't stand living anymore, you just want to push yourself over the edge. Just take a couple big spoonfuls of it and you'll be good. You'll be in a sugar coma for a while.
Been there, done that, yeah.
There's a recipe on it for never fail fudge.
Good
Oh,
fudge.
really?
It's very good fudge.
There's a recipe on it for heart attack. Yeah, it's just sugar. That's all it is. Sugar. It just.
Good if you want to keep the kids in the seat. You just put a little on the seat and just push them down.
Oh, that'd work too.
That's a good idea.
Just let them dig in the jar and eat it, and then they'll be stuck forever.
Right.
They will be bouncing off the ceiling after that. It's like shooting them up with methamphetamine. It's a sugar thing. But it's made here in Lynn, and we all were raised on it. Fluffernutters, you know, peanut butter and fluff.
It's a great song, Don. Thank you. One of my favorites.
Oh, well, thanks. You know, I wrote it in the 70s.
I know. I heard it in the 70s.
Well, we looked good back then, didn't we? I don't know what the hell happened.
That's because you need fluff.
So somebody asked for me to play this last week, and I never got to it. I don't know if that person is on YouTube or not, if they're here, but here, this is called B16 with me. Our kids are grown, they're both in their 20s. They live at home, they are never gonna leave. And why should they go? They've got a good area now. Their food, their phone, their rent is free. They would have to be out of their minds to leave. But I was thinking, what if things were different? You know, living here at home with you and me. What if we decided we could act like they both did when they were in their teens? So wake up, mama, climb out of this window. I have got the key, let's steal our daughter's car. We'll both get really drunk, but we'll put a big dent in her trunk. And we'll drive real fast on the thoroughfare. If we get a speeding ticket, hey, we won't care. We'll be the ones up all night acting wild. They'll be the ones up all night worrying. Wake up, mama, climb out of this window. Come on out and be 16 with me. Picture our kids calling all our friends up and asking them if they know where we are. Of course, all our friends will lie and say they ain't seen us all night, but we'll be standing right beside them while they're on the phone, smoking and drinking and carrying on. And when we come strolling home on Sunday morning, around 10 o'clock while the neighbors walk to church, our kids will ask us where we've been, and then they'll ask us again, and we will just make up a great big lie and swear that it's the truth until the day we die. And they'll be the ones trying to find the truth out, and we'll be the ones lying through our teeth. And under pressure we'll confess that we had unprotected sex. That will gross them out so much they might just start to think about moving out. If turnabout is fair play in this life, then what better way to encourage them to leave than to give them both a dose of what it was like to live with them when they were in their teens. So wake up, mama, climb out of this window. I have got the key, let's steal our daughter's car. We will both get really drunk, we'll put a big dent in her trunk, and no one will know where we are until we come home in a police car. We'll be the ones up all night acting wild. They'll be the ones up all night worrying. We go, mama, climb out of this window. Come on out, be 16 with me. 'Cause I remember you when you were 16. You were the most beautiful thing that I had ever seen. So wake up, mama, wake up, mama, wake up, mama, be 16 with me.
Woo! All right, Dawn.
Yeah, done.
Thank you, everybody. You know, so this thing is free, but if you can throw a few bucks my way, that'll be great. We'll pay Brandon. Brandon is our technician behind the scenes. He's making sure that everything is going good, and he's just probably the best person in the world at this. So I want to make sure that he does well, and the information for doing that is for dropping, for Venmo and all that is in the chat, and we'll take a break, and it'll be up here on the screen for a minute too. So I appreciate that if you can do it, and I'm gonna do one more of these. If you want to write it down or make note of it, there's March 16th, I think it's that Thursday, right in there near St. Patrick's Day. And then I'll be traveling more then after that. So one more after this, and we'll I've been. So that song made me think about my wife Teresa. I've been with her since I was 17 years old. So I learned this. I brushed up on this song today for my friends from Nebraska, Marlene and Tommy. I know they like this one, and I generally don't get to play it that much, but. And this one is for Teresa. That was for her when we had teenagers. This is for us. Now that our grandchildren are teenagers. It's been a good run. September comes subtle, chill in the breeze. I reach for my sweater. I know what this means. Warm days are not over, but change has begun. Subtle but steady, the world tilts away from the sun. The summer was fruitful, the harvest looks good. Our family prospered like we hoped it would. Our struggles were many, those struggles are done. Come sit by my side while the world tilts away from the sun. Away from the sun. Away from the sun. Most hardly notice, but we know this change has begun. Change has begun. Change has begun. Subtle but steady, the world tilts away from the sun. On a world full of wonder, we spin through the sky, loving, fighting, growing, and wondering why. While a big ball of fire above us looks down, shining a warm light upon us as we spin around and around. Away from the sun, away from the sun. Most hardly notice, we know this change has begun. Change has begun. Change has begun. Subtle but steady, the world tilts away from the sun. Let's spend all the money on laughter and song. Let's dance with these bodies till these bodies are gone. And when it's all over, you'll know it is true. My life only had meaning 'cause I got to share it with you. September comes subtle, a chill in the breeze. I reach for my sweater. I know what this means. Warm days are not over, but change has begun. Come dance with me while the world tilts away from the sun.
Beautiful, Don.
Thank you. It's beautiful.
You're welcome.
Woo! Beautiful.
That's in my category of 20 or so end of life songs. There we go. Yeah. So,
Yes, middle age.
Brandon, I can see requests coming. Can you help me out with that? Is anybody?
Yep. Yeah, we've got One Little Drop, I Know What Love Is, and Brown Eyes Shine are the 3 requests I've seen.
An angel of pieces.
Oh, I missed that one. Yep,
Right.
Angel in Pieces.
All right. Is Dee Dee still here?
Yeah, I'm right here.
I want
I'm
to
appreciating the little science spin in that last song. The teacher.
no. She's a kindergarten teacher. That's right at her level. My songwriting is right at the kindergarten level. A big ball of fire is.
I meant the sun to the earth tilting away. It's like, hey, that's real science in there.
All right, I'm not sure I can remember how to do this. I was gonna practice it during the break, but since someone requested it, I'm gonna play it for you. Dee Dee is you shop steward. Can you talk just for a second about what you're doing with the teachers, please?
Oh yeah, I'm vice president of our union, and anyone who lives in Massachusetts would know that right now, all over the state, unions are having to fight really hard. A lot of it is fighting for things like for our teaching assistants and the people who are in that part of the bargaining unit just to get a living wage. In many places in Massachusetts, people who work with with kids all day long are living below the poverty line and getting assistance. It's crazy. So anyway, it's very
Well,
good time.
I'm proud to know you. My dad was a union guy, and they worked at the GE in those days, and we grew up that. I understand people have different opinions about it, but I am firmly on the side of workers being organized. I don't understand any arguments against that. So here's a song. It's called. I think I can do it. I hope I can remember this song. I haven't played it for a long time. It's called One Little Drop, and so just so you know, Dee Dee, I worked for a company, an alarm installing company that had a vote. I was in a fight for a union. You know how you hear about what it's like to have spies at your meetings and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
I could live through that, where they pull you aside and threaten you and tell you, if you vote against this thing, we'll take care of you and all that stuff. And anyway, I got to play this song on Pete Seeger's 100th birthday in Beacon, New York, where he lived. He was, of course, dead then, but his family was there, and Tom Chapin was not. Tom is the living Chapin, right? He was there, and then he asked me to send the song to his daughters, the Chapin sisters, and they covered it and did a nice job with it. So this is for everybody that wants a fair shake in this world. All the work gets done in the valley. All the money rains down on the mountain top. When the money trickles down to the people in the valley, it's only one little drop to feed the family, one little drop to pay the medical bill, one little drop to pay the mortgage to the banker who sold it to the man at the top of the hill. Oh, they work so hard to divide us with a steady stream of lies. Because we ever stop fighting with each other, we might start asking each other why. If all the work gets done in the valley, why does all the money rain down on the mountain top? When the money trickles down to the people in the valley, why is it just a little drop? One little drop to feed the family, one little drop to pay the medical bill, one little drop to pay the mortgage to the banker who sold it to the man at the top of the hill. buying those politicians and those TV newsmen to make them say every day that my problem is my neighbor when I know that my problem is you. Just keep lying about corporate tax breaks, how the jobs are gonna trickle down. But beware of the day when the people say that they are sick of being trickled on. One little drop to feed the family, one little drop to pay the medical bill, one little drop to pay the mortgage to the banker who sold it to the man at the top of the hill. Enjoy your view of the valley from that house on top of the hill. Right now the giant is sleeping, that doesn't mean that it always will. 'Cause when the sleeping giant starts moving, it is impossible to stop. You know every flood that ever washed a city away started with a little drop. One little drop will start an ocean. One little drop will start a wave. One little drop will start the flood that's coming to wash the gilded city away. If all of the work gets done in the valley, why does all the money rain down on the mountain top? When the money trickles down to the people in the valley, why is it just a little drop?
Woo!
Oh, I love that song.
Woo!
Thanks for
Wow.
asking
Thank
for it,
you.
Amy.
Great. I needed that. I came here directly from an emergency union meeting. So thank you. That was very inspiring, empowering.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm glad.
Amy, thanks for requesting it. I love that song.
Yeah. Well, thanks, you
Absolutely.
guys, and you know, you need to take care of each other out here. You know, nothing is given. Nothing is given. You have to fight for it. All right, I'll play one more song. We'll take a little break. Again, the splash. It's called the splash. It'll be a thing on the screen here. That'll give Venmo and PayPal. You know, I want to pay Brandon. That's the most important thing. But we need money here too. I'm not performing like I used to. So anything you can throw my way, that would be great. I'll think about you when I'm at Market Basket. You know, buying food. I'll be having good thoughts for you there. If like some of my folks here who can't figure out Venmo or PayPal or don't like to use it, drop me an email, donwhitefolk@gmail, and that'll be up there too. And I'll shoot you my mailing address, and you can just mail me a check. That'll be great too. So let me do this one more song, and walked into the room like she was walking off a cliff. In my mind I said, what kind of shattered angel is this? Her walk said, I've surrendered. And her face, I've had enough. Her eyes were holes, they were dark and cold. They said, I've given up. I saw an angel in pieces, as if the pieces all fell from the sky. I said in my heart, I believe this sad angel someday will fly. You know, life rains down so hard upon some people that we know. It tears their faith and their hope away, and they walk around like ghosts. We see them as they are breaking, and as their spirit dies, but deep inside we still believe they will come alive and fly. I saw an angel in pieces, as if the pieces all fell from the sky. I said in my heart, I believe this sad angel someday will fly. Now she walks across the room like she could walk across the sky. And those old dark eyes, they are so alive. They set the room on fire. This is no shattered angel. I say to myself, I feel Zuzu's petals. I hear one small bell. I saw an angel in pieces, as if the pieces all fell from the sky. I said in my heart, I believe this sad angel someday will fly. I saw an angel in pieces, as if the pieces all fell from the sky. I said in my heart, I believe this sad angel someday will fly. Look how beautiful you are. All right.
Woo! All right, Dawn. Hi,
Yay.
So,
Thank
Sarah,
you.
are you, Sarah, are you okay if we spotlight you? Do you mind?
Good, hold on.
Can you spotlight Sarah for a minute, everybody?
You got to spotlight Eleanor.
There you go.
So, Eleanor is awake and she was dancing for you.
So
cute.
Sarah has mastered the inner workings of the Halo activity here at Zoom, and she's not she's
Oh,
good.
she's got it everywhere. I knew that was coming.
I think that maybe if maybe for those who are fortunate enough to hang around to the end of this thing, which would be around 8:30 or so, maybe we should have a dance party. What do you think, Sarah?
I think a dance party is definitely in order.
Yeah,
For sure.
boom,
Teach
boom,
everybody
chakalaka.
we'll put their halos and their costumes on, and we'll we'll utilize them. All right. I thank you, everybody. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes, and I'll play some more till about 8:30. Then we'll have a little after party. Maybe we can get Alan to read us a story, and just still hang around a little bit. So. For 3 or 4 minutes, talk to each other, have fun, enjoy yourselves. I'm gonna go get some water, and I'll be right back.
Woo!
Hi, everybody. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, good. Um,
You
thanks
clap
everybody that
loud
was
and
able to
clear.
I appreciate everybody who was able to throw me a few bucks. Looks like I'm gonna be able to pay Brandon. That's always my main thing, and thank you for that. And Jen, is Eleanor still awake or is she knocked out? We'll assume so. You know what?
Nope,
Hang on.
she's still here.
Do you want me to sing her song for her?
Do you want your song? Want my
So-
song? Okay.
It's all right. It's all right with her if I sing her song.
Can you tell him
Alright,
yes,
so
please?
here we can't expect miracles every week, but last week it was almost too much for me to handle this. So this baby, for those of you that don't know, has been a fan of mine before she was born, and this is her song that her mother uses you know, to get her to sleep, get her to calm down. So can you put us side by side, Brandon? Do you mind? All right. I'll sing this for you, and she doesn't have to pay attention through the whole thing, but there is a little girl with pretty curls. She's about 5 years old, and she's waiting at the gate for her dad to come home. When he pulls around the corner in his shiny white car, she feels the magic light up in her heart. And he picks her up and he holds her. He says he missed her. He's glad that she is here. As the child lays her head on his shoulder, she whispers these words in his ear. Daddy, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. Now she is 20 and there's plenty of love everywhere. She's getting married, so her family and her friends are all there. They've gathered this morning to stand at her side as she waves goodbye to this time in her life. They each take a moment to hold her and to tell her what she means to them. In a world that seems to keep getting colder, she has been blessed with a warm family and friends. She says, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. Now they are older and no one told her it got crazy like this. They're going to night school, they're working jobs too. They're raising 3 kids. The youngest one is crying with a bruise on her knee. She needs attention and she needs sympathy. And when she picks her up and she holds her, that old magic lights up in her heart. And as the child lays her head on her shoulder, she knows exactly why they're working so hard. Little girl, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. Now they are 60 and their history spans 40 odd years. They have buried their parents, now their grandkids are here. There's something about the way they look in each other's eyes that speaks softly about the meaning of life. And when he puts his arm out to hold her, it feels so familiar and warm. She thinks love is an expanding endeavor till your last breath from the moment you're born. Now she is 80 and she hates being in this nursing home. Her man's been gone now for a long while and she feels so alone. She closes her eyes and she begins to pray that a little comfort might just come her way. And God lifts her up and he holds her, and she remembers this feeling she has. She is not a woman whose life is almost over. She's a little girl being held by her mom. And God, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. And God, love is real
You
simple.
did good, Cass.
Love is real simple.
You did good.
Love
Cass.
is real simple and true.
Can you clap?
Mm.
Say
Woo!
yeah.
All right, Dawn.
Woohoo!
Hey, Dawn.
Oh,
Yay.
Yay, Can you
beautiful.
clap?
Oh.
Can you say thank
Oh, it's
you?
past your bedtime, ain't it?
Thank you.
You know, my grandson's here. Let me call him. Let's see. Hang on a second.
She's so cute.
Hey,
Thank you.
Hi, Eleanor.
Say hi, Miss
Say hi, Sarah.
Hi, sweetheart.
Sarah. Say hi,
We're babysitting our grandson. We have
Sarah. Can you say hi, Neil?
Hey, Eleanor. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, good wave. I like that.
those PJs.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. She's gotten so big. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Just stretched right out. She's a little tall one now. Wow.
Do you want to say hi to everybody? Hey, there you go.
All right.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, buddy.
Hi.
Elijah. How old are you, Elijah? How many? That's right.
3?
Wow.
Oh.
3, Elijah? Oh, my goodness.
Hi.
He can sing. He can sing.
Oh my goodness, big boy.
He can sing Herman the Worm. Oh, we could really have a lot of fun with Herman the Worm. Sitting on fence, in my left knee, chomp. Right? All that? All right. Well, must be so surreal to them.
I know, really.
I know, it's surreal to me. All right. See you later, everybody.
Hi, Elijah.
Bye, Elijah.
Hi, Elijah. Good to see you.
Bye, Elijah.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Too cute.
I don't know. All right. All right. Does anybody want to hear anything? Did I miss anything? Here, let me play this a new one. I took a stab at it last week. Let me practice it. So, the idea with this, an idea I've been thinking about for a long time. The idea is that in our world, you know, not unjustifiably, the news goes to people who overcome the odds. Those are the good stories, right? The all or nothing, get rich or die trying. That's the stuff that gets the copy, right? And I'm not against that. I understand that, but I always thought about people who had humble dreams. I just wanted their kids to live in a city where there's no bombs dropping on them, or have a garden and be mellow. You know, they're not going to get a lot of press because it's not, you know, it's not, you know, it's not as newsworthy. But it's important. And so this song is called "The Power of Humble Dreams." It's for all of you out there who are making the, you know, raising young people or teaching them, you know, about how to be civil and live in communities and all that. And you know, it's a new song. I don't know what to do with new songs. There's no way to make money from them, so I just play them on the internet is what I do. But here we go. She painted her life story in such warm and gentle tones. The dreams that grew in her garden stronger than this world could ever know. All or nothing, that's what they say. The first loser comes in second place, and so it's either go big or else go home. 'Cause all or nothing makes for good TV. You scan a million channels and the thing you will never see is a show about humble dreams. She painted her life story in such warm and gentle tones. The dreams that grew in her garden were stronger than this world could ever know. TV only needs a story of the glory dreams. They say what could be more boring than a story of communities that work together and live in peace. Quiet people with their unsung little humble dreams are raising conscientious children with humility, who then grow up and build compassionate communities. Someday that might just turn out to be a bigger story than it seems. Na 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 na. One man's dream of glory became so extreme, he bombed all of our cities, and the millions who lived in peace became millions of refugees. And when the war was over, we began to see how the healing of the world begins in small communities of children raised on humble dreams. She painted her life story in such warm and gentle tones. The dreams that grew in her garden were stronger than this world could ever know. Na 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 na. There you go.
I
Beautiful.
love
Great.
that.
That's a great song, Don. The one way you did it at that house concert was fantabulous too.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, keep banging them out even though there's no money in it. No, you know, music is free. All right. I'll play two more songs, and then we'll get Alan maybe to do a little. So we'll have like a little after party. You know, if you want to hang around, buddy, we can talk and chat. Anybody wants to sing a song, tell a story, let us know what you're up to. I know we have Alan here. He would definitely tell us a story. He's going to be performing at the Kearney Storytelling Festival in Nebraska this weekend. Jenny's grandma went to Woodstock back in 1969. She keeps her ticket stub and a chunk of mud at her house in a little shrine. She was always the girl in the hippie dress twirling at the shows by the Grateful Dead. If you ask her about it, man, you better sit down. Grandma will talk the ears right off your head. If you care to talk about the Grateful Dead, the summer of love, or the Kool-Aid acid test. Jenny was always in her glory when she could hear the stories from her grandma's hippie friends about peace and love, taking care of one another, how great it all was back then. And at night she would dream of being on the bus with Keezy, seeing Jimmy in 69. But when she wasn't dreaming, she always had the feeling that somehow she'd been born in the wrong time. You know, you should have been 20 in 1969. All the gray-haired hippies say that all the time. But the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are living on the beach in Montezuma, Costa Rica, having all kinds of fun, singing, there's only 1 minute if you're not living in it, it's never coming back again. I love you, Grandma, but Baba Ram Dass never said, never said, never said, be there then. It's gonna take a big leap of faith if you really want to find your tribe. Those were the first words that Jenny heard in a song that she found online. And that summer she drove all the way to Minnesota to the Shangri-La Festival. And there they all were, all the people like her, who grew up believing that they were all alone. They said, hey girl, welcome home. Because the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are driving down the road all the way to Minnesota, man, they're having all kinds of fun, singing Jimmy and Jerry are dead and buried and they're never coming back again. I love you, Grandma, but Baba Ram Dass never said, never said, never said, be there then. Jenny's grandma went to Woodstock in 1969, and since then she believed there was never going to be a better time, and that's alright. But if you don't take your big leap of faith and get out there and find your scene, it will pass you by while you are trying to find your grandma's long gone Woodstock memories. Her Woodstock memories. Because the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are living on the beach in Montezuma, Costa Rica, man, they're having all kinds of fun, singing only 1 minute, you're not living in it, it's never coming back again. Love you, Grandma, but Baba Ram Dass never said, never said, never said, never said, never said, be there then. That's it.
Okay, done.
Woo! All right, John. Woohoo!
Thank you. All right, so let's have a dance party. What do you say? You think? Are you ready?
Boom chakalaka.
Boom, chuckle, wang, wang.
Alright, so everybody in the Zoom part of this thing, put yourself on gallery view so you can see what's about to happen here. So
Watch Sarah.
all right, Sarah and Brandon, can you teach us all how to put our costumes on, please, if you don't mind?
Don't forget your lipstick.
Yeah,
And your
so
eyebrows.
you need to go to your settings. So if you go down to where the mute microphone is, there's a little up caret triangular button in the top right corner. If you push that, you can go to audio settings. Then you'll see, or you can do the same in video, but then you'll see a column on the left-hand side. Look for video. Oh no, I'm sorry. I forgot it's backgrounds and effects.
Oh, it's new. Yeah.
And then you can click on video filters. And there you'll see all kinds of different options. And in the top right corner of the screen, where you can see your video, you'll see a button that says rotate 90 degrees. and you can turn yourself upside down.
Right, that's because we're going to be dancing on the ceiling by the end of this here. So here, everybody put a costume on. This is how we got through COVID. I just want to let you know, everybody. Like it was tragic, but it was all we could do. There we go. This for the teachers in the group there. Yeah.
Right.
All right. I think I'm gonna go with the burglar. That's probably gonna be good for me. So this song, if you'll, it's called. I've been writing songs lately, and they were, man, they were so wordy. I've been hanging around with poets and, people that never stop talking, and so I just thought I'm not gonna write any more songs with words in them, no big ideas, nothing. All I want is to just write booty shaking songs. That's where the money is. And so this song is called Boom Chaka Wang Wang. There's no redeeming qualities, but it's probably gonna be the one that makes me rich, ladies and gentlemen. And so thank you for coming. And when we're done with this, we'll take just another like a 2-minute break. If you can donate, it would mean something to me. I appreciate it. And then we'll have a little after party. We'll have Alan and anybody else wants to read a poem, Amy, something like that, and we'll just hang out because it's a great community we have here. All right, Brandon, let's have our dance party. Make it sure it's nice and loud. Louder.
I love you, big mama, let me say that thing. Boom, chugga, wang, wang, boom, chugga, wang. When I see you chugga, wang, it makes me wanna sing. Boom, chugga, wang, wang, boom, chugga, wang. Boom, chugga, wang, wang, boom, chugga, wang. My mom wants me to read and try to use my brain, but I just wanna see my baby, boom, chugga, wang. Chugga wang wang, boom chugga wang, boom chugga wang wang, boom chugga wang. The DJ at the wedding is so damn lame. To get this party jumping, play boom chugga wang, boom chugga wang wang, boom chugga wang, boom chugga wang wang, boom chugga wang. Break it down. Boom. Ow. Boom. Ow. Chugga wang wang. Boom chugga wang wang, boom chugga wang, boom chugga wang wang, boom chugga wang.
Hey! Bravo! Another Thursday in the books. Here we go. Okay.
Woo! Boom chicka wang wang.
That was John Svetke's voice, in case you were wondering. I was just on the phone. I was just in a Zoom call with him lately. He's doing all right. Thank you for coming. Thank you for everybody on the other platforms. 2 minutes, we'll have Alan read a poem. Leave the stream going, Brandon, to Alan. And if Amy, do you want to read a poem? Anybody else? And then we'll, we'll shut it down after that. Does that work for everybody? All right. I'll be back in just a minute.
If you want, Don, I got a story similar to the Bonnie Raitt thing that'll take a couple minutes. I could share.
Yeah. I think I want that one. I never get to see you guys. You're from all over the place, so we'll do that. But my part of this thing is over now. I'm gonna go break into
Okay, Batman.
Someone's house, and I'll be back.
Haka wawa.
All right. Let's get rid of this mask here. I just burgled somebody in my neighborhood. So I have to get my to get rid of my stuff. All right. Thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for everyone who donated. I really appreciate it. I have some concerts coming up. I'm doing my birthday shows. 2 shows every year around my birthday. One near the ocean over near Lynn, and then one out at the Bull Run. So the Bull Run one is on Shirley, Mass. It's already sold quite a lot of tickets out there. Pretty feeling good about that. And the Bull Run is a great place if you've never been there. It was built in the 1700s. Daniel Shea from Shea's Rebellion. Hey, history. There you go. Science and history today, ladies and gentlemen. He supposedly went in there and had a drink on his way to trying to overthrow the government back before there was a police militia. It's a beautiful venue, and it's also I wish I had a lot of venues like it. You can have a drink and have dinner, but it's still a quiet, good place, like a nightclub, really. And then the other one I'm doing, so that's going to be on I think the Friday in March, the first Friday, and then the first Saturday, that is. And the first Friday is at the Me and the in Marblehead. And my son Lauren is going to play at both of those shows, which it's hard to get him out now. He's got 3 kids and job that sends him to overseas all the time and everything. But he's going to be at both of those. So if you're in the area and you'd like to come, I'd love to see you at those. I have some other things. I'm going to play in North Reading and down in Connecticut, and I'm got a few things going all the time, and I'm enjoying being out on stage again. I'm not going to take it for granted. It's a good life. So I'd like to have my friend Alan DeBay tell a story. Alan DeBay is from Kansas. He's really one of the nicest people that I know. He's good to everybody. He advocates for everybody, every artist, everybody, and he's a really good storyteller. And he's going to be performing at a pretty big festival in Kearney, Nebraska this weekend. And so, Alan, why don't you tell us a story, buddy?
It's a brand new story that I've only performed on YouTube and not for a real audience before. So here is The Great Sad Cloud and the Great Wise Cloud. It was a long, long time ago, a time when clouds would just float across the sky, but yet they did not yet rain across the land. They just floated without a purpose yet. But one day there was a sad cloud born. The sad cloud didn't know why it was sad, but it would rain down tears on the earth. And it went and saw its friends and said, "Why am I so sad? Why can I not be glad?" And they said, "We do not know why you are sad either. But we have heard that there is a great wise cloud in the west, and you should go visit it, and perhaps it can tell you why you are so sad." And so one of the sad cloud's friends said, "I'll go with you. I wouldn't be a good friend if I didn't." And so the sad cloud and its friends set off on a journey to the west to see the great wise cloud. And they were a couple hundred miles into their trip, and they ran into another cloud, and the cloud said, "What are you doing out here? We rarely see clouds out this far." "Oh, we're going to see the great wise cloud." "Oh, my grandpa." "Yeah, I haven't ever actually met him in person. I've just heard the stories." "I'll go with you. I'll go see the great wise cloud, and we'll find out why you are so sad." And so the three set off again, traveling towards the west to find the great wise cloud. And they got another 1,000 miles, and they ran into another cloud, and the cloud said, "Why have you come out this far west?" And said, "I am a very sad cloud, and I want to find out why, and we have gone to see the great wise cloud." "Ah, I am the son of the great wise cloud. It's been a while since I went out to see my father. I'll go with you too, and we'll all find out why you are so sad." And so they went out west, and they found the great wise cloud. And the sad cloud explained why that it was so sad, but it didn't know why. And the great wise cloud said, "You have traveled quite a ways. Why don't you rest here for a few days, and then you will discover why you have been so sad." And so they waited 3 days. And on the third day, the great wise cloud said, "Turn around and look." And everywhere that sad cloud had gone, plants and life had sprung up from the ground. And the sad cloud at that point became the great glad cloud. And it was so glad that it had watered the land and sprung forth life. And after that, all clouds sprung out tears of gladness and watered the earth all across the world. And that's why we have creation of plants and animals and things today. Always remember, sometimes your weaknesses can become great strengths.
Hey, Alan, nicely done. Beautiful.
Very nice.
Nicely done, Alan.
Nicely going, Alan.
It's good to see you again, my friend. Really, I have a place in my heart for you. You're just a lovely human, and that's a great news story. Let's hear it one more time for Alan DeBay.
Yay, Alan. Good luck at in Kansas. Where's the thing you're going to?
Nebraska.
It's in
Nebraska.
So,
Good luck there. I know you'll do well.
Yeah.
So, I know people don't think that, like, we went on vacation in Nebraska in the wintertime. That's right. Everyone thought we were out of our minds, but we went there to Kearney, Nebraska to see the biggest migration in North America. It's the sandhill crane migration. Every sandhill crane is this big, and there is somewhere between 500,000 and 600,000 of them that come and rest in the Platte River right near Kearney, Nebraska. And I'm telling you, you owe it to yourself in this life to be there, to see the sky full of, I don't know, 30-pound birds. It's unbelievable. It's just the most amazing thing. It's the biggest migration in North America. It's the equivalent to the wildebeest in Africa. And so, every state has something it wants to show you. And Kansas and Nebraska are no different. They all have great things and good people in them. So I see the Kara's here. Kara here. Thank you for showing up. The Kara's here all the time. Love you. Welcome. Amy, did you want to read a poem from Kentucky, my friend?
Sure. I'd love to.
She is a writer. She lives in Kentucky, and that's her daughter Thelia is in one of these little squares here. This painting back here, let's see, right right there. That Celia painted that and gave it to me when I was down in Kentucky at a storytelling festival. And so it's a very creative family down there, and they have a farm. They're farmers, and also Amy was helping out with all the flooding down there, trying to preserve some documents. So we love her a lot, and so you're welcome to say some words there, Amy.
Okay, hi. Thank you so much. I went down and helped after this Hindman Settlement School was flooded. I'm a writer and I've attended the Appalachian Writers Workshop there, and Hindman is a place that's very special to me. It's a place that fosters this beautiful writing community that I'm fortunate to be part of. And when the floods happened in Eastern Kentucky, it flooded their archives. So like all the history, all of the books and all of the original handwriting, journals and, everything that they had saved was flooded. And so I went down there and we put a bunch of that in freezers and did all kinds of things with it to try to get it immediately taken care of before someone could work to thaw that out. And they're still working on that. It's an ongoing project. Many people in Eastern Kentucky down there where that happened are still without homes. And so there's a lot of stuff still going on to help. I know through Apple Shop, if you go to appleshop.org, you can donate there to help with that. And you can go to HindmanSettlementSchool.org if you want to help the settlement school there. And both of those are excellent places if you're looking to help out Eastern Kentucky. So I'll just read. I had one poem come out in this month's issue of Kentucky Monthly, which has our national poet laureate Ada Limon on there, and she lives in Lexington, Kentucky. So I'm very proud of our poet laureate. And I'll read my poem that was published in this month's. It's titled "As I Age." I say my gray hairs are the light leaking out where I opened myself up to the world and allowed my mind to experience new ideas. So I radiate hope.
Beautiful.
Oh, Amy, that's beautiful.
That's beautiful, Amy. And
Thank you.
thanks so much for what you're doing to help
I'm
everybody.
really not doing much. It is a huge community effort. I've helped as much as I can, but it is a lot of people coming together to do that great work. And I'm just fortunate to be one of them. Thank you all for letting me share.
Sure, you're welcome. Where she lives, there's a festival where how I became familiar with that part of the world. It's called the Cave Run Storytelling Festival, and I've done it twice now. I was just there last September. It's a beautiful part of the state and a part of the country, and just so many lovely, lovely people. The storytelling, my storytelling thing that I fumbled into probably 2015 has really brought me to places I would that the folk world would I wouldn't wind up going there. I've been to Alabama and Nebraska and Kentucky and Kansas, and it's just great. This year I'm going to play in Indiana, in Indianapolis, doing storytelling, and also they keep telling me that I'm going to get to go to the Nationals this fall. So that's in the National Storytelling Festival is in Jonesboro, Tennessee, and if you've never been there, you should go. It's another one of these things that you didn't know you couldn't live without it until until you saw it. It's more than I can explain here, but it's in Jonesboro, Tennessee, and it's the first weekend in October, and I think about 95% sure that I'm going to be performing there this year after a 6-year hiatus, and really looking forward to that. That playing in that thing in 2015 changed my whole world. It changed everything. That's where I met Tommy and Marlene and everybody. So, all right, Kevin, did you want to had a story you said you from Chicago there, buddy?
Yeah. You were talking about the Bonnie Raitt song, and it brought up sort of a time in the past in our lives. So back in the mid-90s, my dad, just before his 65th birthday, had a massive heart attack and probably should have died, but didn't. And he ran into a doctor, and everybody was ready to write him off, that said, yeah, we can get you together and get you a heart transplant. And the deal was he had to be sort of the guinea pig for a device called the LVAD, which is now pretty much accepted in the area of heart transplants. It's external pump that pumped the blood. So for 9 months, he was on this, getting strong enough to get a transplant. And there's a whole lot of interesting stories in those 9 months, but we'll jump ahead. And he finally gets a heart in April the following year. So he gets the heart, spends a couple of months getting together. He finally comes home. Now, my mom, who was a school teacher, but gave it all up when she had a bunch of kids in the 60s, always was into reading. And her way to give back was she volunteered in the local Chicago Public Library branch in the neighborhood, helping them out. So after my dad gets a little bit better, as a break from time to time, one of us would come over to the house and mom would go up and volunteer at the library. So she's at the library talking to the full-time staff, and she's telling them all the crap that's been going on with dad and getting the heart and blah, 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 blah. And one of the librarians goes, you know, there's a lady across the street in the currency exchange who back in April lost her husband in a motorcycle accident, and she had his organs harvested, and that's really weird. And it turns out that my mom knew that the story behind the heart was it was a guy in a motorcycle accident. So eventually mom goes across the street to the currency exchange because, you know, she never used the currency exchange in her life. And starts talking to this lady. And of course, doctors won't give a whole lot of information, but they put the story together. And my mom goes to my dad's doctor and says, hey, is this the deal? And he goes, yeah, that's the guy. So her and dad and the widow ended up going out to dinner and finding each other and interacted, Christmas cards, you know, nothing big or anything, but they kept in tune while my dad was still alive. As a side note, the young gentleman, he's 26 years old. So my dad got like a half heart, you know, half the age of him. He was on his way to Kentucky Fried Chicken because he really, really liked Kentucky Fried Chicken. My dad didn't like store-bought chicken. He was kind of a picky eater. After the transplant, he craved Kentucky Fried Chicken, and nobody could figure out why until they got together with the wife, who's like, oh yeah, he was on the way because he had to have some more Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's where he was going at the time of the accident.
That's amazing.
So just like in the Bonnie Raitt story, there they are, the donor and the recipients end up getting together.
Yeah, it's so surreal, isn't it? I think
they worked across the street from each other.
I think everybody, because of that song, is talking about this. You know, it's a topic of conversation all over the place. What is it like for the person who loved the person who donated the heart, let's say, to be with the person who's carrying the heart? You know, no language can't explain it. It's just, you know, it's not something that anybody before our time, before the 60s could you know, comprehend. It's so interesting. And the fact that he liked the kind of food that was going to give him another heart attack, that's hilarious.
That was a great story, Kevin, though. Thank you.
Kevin. That was
was
good.
great.
So, Brandon, I think now we should stop the stream, and we'll just keep it here if anybody wants to talk or whatever. But there's no reason for this sort of private conversation to go out into the world. Thank you to everybody on YouTube and Facebook.
Woo!
Love you.
Hey, YouTube and Facebook. See you next month.
If you join us, if you want to come over and join us for the last few minutes, you're welcome to. I'll probably play one more song here, but